Good morning, folks. It is February 25th, 2026. All right, so I'm at a crossroads here. Now, for a long time, I've been, you know, doing things and following, you know, sort of, like a low fat approach into diet for a while now. And I've explored different aspects of that throughout the year. You name the diet that I've focused on, and it's all been centered around a low fat type of way of eating, and it has grown on me in such a way that I'm not going to abandon it. I'm not going to leave it behind. Yesterday, and I told you lately, things, have been kind of spiritual, like spiritually leading me and spiritually guiding me in directions. Now, yesterday was no exception to that. I had my notebooks ready. I was ready to document, calories, and I was going to do it in a way that where I was going to continue my low-fat, plant-based way of eating, on top of that. But reality hit. See, I got a family, and sometimes things happen in such a way to let you know that you can't always be 100% pinpoint accurate on things. And this happened to me right out of the gate. And I struggled with it. Because I wanted to do a packaged goods calorie count of some kind, I even had the packaged goods here at the house, I got I got a plant-based veggie burger that I was going to use for that very reason, I was going to, do that. Count the calories from the package and the bun, and, use some mustard at 0 calorie, and document it and show everyone, and that was the plan. That was the plan, and this is the type of content that I've produced on this channel since its inception. Except for before, I've done it, with unhealthy foods such as McDonald's, Burger King, and stuff like that. And it's effective. It's effective way in losing weight. So why was the intervention and the reality set upon me in such a way yesterday that took that away from me? I think it's because it's just not meant to be for me to do those type of things anymore, because I can eat intuitively in a way where I can do that without strict documentation. Now, can everybody do that? I don't know. All I can do is focus on what works for me, and if you like that, or if you follow what I'm saying, if you agree with that, yeah, fine. And I think most of you do. I think most of you understand exactly where I'm coming from on this. So I'm gonna tell you a little bit more about it. Yesterday, I had an appointment. I didn't have an appointment. My wife had an appointment with a doctor, and that appointment just so happened to land about the same time that my son needed to be picked up from his daycare program. I got an adult autistic child that goes to like an adult facility, you know, during the day, and they do things with them, group interactions, and they do a lot of things in there. Play bingo with them, make them happy, keep them entertained. They got video games in there, all kinds of stuff, you know, that make it fun, and they're not stuck at home all the time, unless they choose to be. So every situation with that is different. My daughter's and my son's situations are night and day different. But here's the thing. My wife wanted to go to this pizza restaurant. This pizza restaurant has a pizza buffet, which is good news for me because there's a big salad bar there with lots of different kind of vegetables on it. I took my own dressing. I even made the video. I've even got the video made and not downloaded yet. I decided to do this download and talk instead because I took a dressing with me yesterday, and it was that Pace. It's like a Pace hot honey chipotle. It's really made more for Mexican food, but I was going to use that as my salad. I did use that as my salad dressing. I did take it. I did use it. It's 10 calories per serving. I figured up the entire bottle was only like 150 calories if you were to eat the whole bottle, which there's no way you'd eat that whole bottle of sauce in one sitting like that. So, you know, I was prepared to, try to, use that as a method to say, hey, look, this is my salad. I wasn't able to track the calories accurately, but vegetables are low in calorie, and then I was going to try to, look up all the vegetables that I had in that salad, and I got to realizing that this is ridiculous. This is absolutely and utterly ridiculous, and I'm done with it. I'm done with it because I know good and well I didn't go over that calorie. Now I came home and I ate a bowl of rice and lentils, that I did figure up yesterday when I was talking about the BMR stuff, and I was using rice and lentils as an example. Now, after a salad, with nothing but vegetables, and a little bit of whatever fruit they had on there. They had some little chunks of pineapple on there. They had some cranberries on there, or there's dried raisin-like cranberries. They were great on the salad, and they went great with that chipotle. And I had all that. I had all that planned. Like I say, I have the video. I have a video that I was gonna release, and I just wasn't happy with it. Sometimes, as a creator, you realize you're in a stumbling block here, and this is what I was going through yesterday. So I listened to Cole's message yesterday because he's kind of pushing this, and it's a message that some people need to hear out there, and this is a message that I kind of connected with for a minute here, that I knew a lot about, and I know a lot about, but I started to realize it's an old message that I really don't need to get back into. Not me personally. It's just not for me. I mean, it is and it's not at the same time. All of that frustration that I felt, being in a situation where I didn't want to disappoint my family members in front of me, but also being in that situation of not disappointing them, I was still in a situation where I was in control of my intake. I was in control of it. Could I accurately count it? Yeah, probably. You know, I could sit there and figure up every single vegetable and about the amounts that I use to put on there and this and that. And I could have overestimated all of those amounts and still come out under as far as calories go. You know, we're talking about raw bell pepper here. We're talking about raw purple onion, iceberg lettuce. We're talking about banana pepper rings, you know, dill pickle chips, you know, dill pickles slices. It just was an eye opener for real. An eye opener for real. So, yeah, I'm done with that. I'm done with that. That is a rabbit hole that I don't want to go down. Now, some of you have suggested an app that kind of, you know, helps to, you know, track for you a little bit here. And I've never used it before, but basically was saying it done a lot of the same things that I was looking into yesterday with my two websites, calculator.net, which does all the calculation work for you, and the Calorie King website that I use to figure out the amounts of a cup of cooked rice and a cup of cooked lentils. I mean, you know, people have, you know, built great works around this, you know, in order to put out the calorie amounts, you know, on sites like that. And a lot of these modern AI style apps actually retrieve the information that's already out there with nutrition facts attached to it already, you know, with nutritional label attached to it already. But you automatically know that a cup of lentils is going to be less calories. A cup of lentils and a cup of rice and whatever you choose to season it with is going to be less calories than, let's just say, a double Whopper from Burger King. It's going to be less calories overall. And it's going to seem like a lot more food, and it's going to satisfy you and stay with you a lot longer. At least for me it does. I guess because I'm used to that diet now. So with me in post gallbladder removal, I'm still required to maintain a low fat, fiber rich diet. So what that's going to look for me, and y'all know I love the starch. The starch has been amazing for me. I have been plant-based starch for this entire month. This is the least animal I have eaten for this long a period of a stretch in my entire life, probably. Since baby food, anyway, because we all seen Little Roy, my little baby. My little baby buddy. You know, he liked the bananas. He liked the apples. He did not like the meat. He didn't like it. He went. I done him so wrong, man, that he didn't even trust me when I tried to feed him the apples and the bananas after the fact. So, yeah, man, that's. I'm sorry, Roy. But hey, listen, I ain't gonna quit walking either. I enjoy it. I do. I enjoy it. Matter of fact, while I listened to Cole talk yesterday, and I like listening to him, and this is what I used to do back during the sugar diet. So it's like it's live. His first live yesterday was like an hour and 46 minutes long. So I walked that entire 46 minutes and listened to him. You know, sometimes I'll listen to, you know, maybe something he's got to say like twice a day or more. So I turned it on just to see how many steps I could get in that hour and 46 minutes. I wound up with like 6,500 steps in that hour and 46 minutes. And a whole crap ton of calories burnt during that talk. Now, 30,000 steps. I'm gonna go ahead and say this right now because that's kind of a dig, man. I'm sorry, man. You gotta stop. You gotta stop. 30,000 steps is really hard to achieve. Sometimes especially since I've got like a more name brand type of calorie tracker, it is way harder for me to hit that 30 than it did on those Temu versions that I had before. Now, I'm not saying that if you can't afford nothing else that those are bad, because they will get you moving and whatever. But sometimes, like yesterday, I hit around 16,000 steps, and I still burn like maybe 4,000 calories right at it, or 3,800 calories, around just, for 16,000 steps in a day. Now, a lot of times I hit 20, and that definitely puts me over 4,000. I have, I guess I could show it to you. I mean, I got an app that keeps up with that. Why is my phone about dead? I've had it charging all night. Let's see if I can even find a darn app. Like, I hardly ever even open it up, but the watch syncs the information into it automatically. And the app that my subscribers are recommending is Chronometer. And it says I looked it up, and Chronometer actually syncs Fitbit's information into it automatically. And I've been told, that to download or to type in my own calorie amounts into the app itself to, kind of figure that out, or else it will give me a daily recommended amount of calories to intake, so, or to hit. So I will look into some of that. I'm not so sure if I want to get even that involved in the numbers, because intuitively the way I eat is just working without having to be any kind of extreme, if that makes sense to you. And I like that, man. I love that. Now, I'm not claiming I'm going vegan here either, and I'm gonna tell you why. In just a second, because that also is very taxing on you, very tiring to have to try to deal with, depending on your situation. Now, some people can do it, some people are solo in life, or some people have partners that, follow them, and whatever they do. I'm not going to try to, convert people just so I can live a certain lifestyle. I'm just not going to do that. I'm not doing it. It's not going to happen. I was in a situation, well, I wasn't in a situation. There's a restaurant that me and my wife like to eat at, and they got a 4-vegetable plate there. And I get it. And I don't know how they season it. This is the South. They could season those vegetables with, and it's just it's the same problem you run into at a restaurant. We'll use the Cracker Barrel for example. You go to the Cracker Barrel, you get some turnip greens, and they might have ham hock cooked in there. And then there you go. You're stuck not eating anything. Now, some of the restaurants that we have here might season with some kind of pork and it not have any meat in it. They might have used the meat for something else and used like some pork in there to season their cabbage with or something like that. So sometimes, when you're at some of these places. It's about doing the best that you can do. And that's me. I don't want to walk out of a restaurant or just sit there and not participate because I'm pouting because I found a little sliver of something, that resembles a piece of chicken about that big, so that you almost have to have a microscope to look into it to realize, hey, this is a teeny tiny little piece of meat amongst all of this cabbage. Just not doing it because I feel like, that the cabbage is the overwhelmingly healthy part of the dish that you are eating. Yeah. I mean, you could be risking a little bit of fat in there, but it still isn't the same as eating, straight fat off the ribeye or straight fat off the bone. You know what I'm saying? It's just not. And I've done that, not realizing it at certain places, and still wound up losing weight anyway just because I was eating, it was mostly vegetable. So what I'm trying to say here is flexitarian. That's me. Flexitarian. I don't have to be married to the situation. I can be flexible. Now, I like flexitarian. I like everything about it. I've read up on it. It is, I forget about the app thing. I'm done. Y'all know how a Fitbit works. But yeah, it's I'm burning, upwards of 4,000 calories a day, and my walking, and I ain't gonna let nobody tell me that the walking is dumb. Because, not just that, I like to watch other channels too. Like, there's a channel out there that has a morning meeting every morning, and that can last a couple of hours. And I like to listen to the talk, that's going on in that morning meeting, because it's held like a kind of like a AA type of meeting, yeah, we don't eat carbs. We don't eat carbs focused group or something like that. I like to listen to it, see what people are saying, and I'm getting results, and this just goes to show that, I could be as in control as I am of myself, as consistent as I can be. I could be doing the carnivore diet right now. I could be doing that and just be getting, I could be getting tons and tons and tons of subscribers and support and everything, and I see, the one out there right now who's finally, dropping, some serious, he's starting to, finally, get things moving. We'll just put it that way. But in order to do that, they're, how'd I put it? Eating just only for an entire day. So, like, seriously, I mean, if you're doing that, then yes, you can eat, as far as I'm concerned, 2 candy bars and get that same result. You can eat 1 bowl of ice cream and get that same result. You can eat a Big Mac and a large fry and get that same result. Once you start doing that, that just takes away from your diet message altogether, because then it becomes about, periods of periods of absence. Periods of absence. And that's another reason why I want to move on from a lot of this, because I'm just tired of dodging all of this language. I want to eat a flexitarian style diet. A flexitarian style diet for me is going to look very plant forward. It's a flexible vegetarian is what it is. That is me. I don't have to be caught up in all the other aspects that go along with some kind of label. I don't want it. I don't want it. I don't need it. And I ain't gonna do it. Ain't gonna do it. I can, do McDougal style. Scale's looking good, by the way, for those who want to know. I think the gallbladder, I've looked into the you want to do some post gallbladder talk, some of you, so I'm gonna do some of that in this video too. It's gonna be like a variety style of conversation within this video, but yeah. They say when you've got a gallbladder, and mine's been bad for a very long time. They even told me, I got the results. They sent that thing off. Luckily for me, it came back. It was not no kind of abnormalities in there, like anything dangerous going on with it. But it was a non-functioning organ. It wasn't functioning properly for like years and years, I guess, of being overweight and eating way too much cholesterol and a lot. And the show My 600-Pound Life, they go through gallbladder removals on that show. For those reasons, and it happens all the time for those reasons. When people start to try to live a healthier lifestyle, they realize, hey, listen, this organ's gone. There's no bringing it back. That was my situation. It was not functioning properly, and my body had started to function properly with a bad alternator. Fortunately, you can replace an alternator, but fortunately for me, that my engine runs without one. And that's been going good so far. I have not had the irritable bowel that some people have with it. My system is running the way it should, and I think it's because of the foods that I eat. Plant forward flexitarian style diet. Plant forward flexitarian style diet. I plan to finish out the rest of this month and keep it, plant-based the rest of this month, and then I'm going into Starch March, where I'm going to talk about the starch solution a lot more. I'm going to take on that approach. I am actually participating in Lent right now. I've been doing that. I started my Lent early in February, so that goes to April 2nd, I think. So I'll be participating in, a Lent style event, and it's just a choice. Christians can choose to participate in Lent. They don't have to be necessarily married to it, so I am just choosing, to do Lent. It's fun, and it's spiritual, and well, Jesus participated in stuff like that, so it's good enough for him. It's good enough for me. And also, Jesus was a flexitarian style eater as well. He was mostly plant forward. If you look into it, and they've done archaeology of cities and stuff that they have dug up, from that time period, and examined the bones and the teeth of the individuals, and definitely evidence of a heavy plant-based style of eating for back then. course, he ate fish and lamb at a Passover. But fish wasn't even fish wasn't an everyday staple in his diet. And I don't think, according to most, of the way the culture worked, and that's the type of environment he lived in, and would have eaten like the people of the time. And not to mention the fact that he was spiritual and biblical and would have done whatever it took to not be in obesity, because there's some strict rules against that, as far as being a Christian. Obesity. He would have participated in religious practices to, move away from that. You know what they are. I don't know what else I could say. I'm just done with the BS part of it all. I just want to enjoy the lifestyle. I've enjoyed it. I enjoy the way I'm eating now. And being flexible, if I want to have a chocolate bar, yeah, I just have a chocolate bar, If I want to have a chicken sandwich, I'll have a chicken sandwich. Not during Lent season, though. I'm decided to stay plant-based for spiritual reasons, and when it gets closer toward time for April to roll around, I may try out some fish or something. If it's good enough for Jesus, it's good enough for me, as far as I'm concerned. Let me know what you think down in the comments. And that's all I got for this one. So until the next one, you folks have a good one.